Hey everyone, welcome to Itoday Apéro number 3. I'm so glad to welcome you live. We are live on LinkedIn, on YouTube. We are live everywhere, and this is so great to see you guys. So please, can I ask you to just say hi to the camera, everyone? Hey. So this is great to be live with you. It's gonna be a fun show today, and we have a lot of things to talk about and a great guest you will see. So probably you know, you have heard about Itoday Apéro if you're here. If you don't know what an apéro is, it's a very special time, you know, for our Swiss French culture. So in Switzerland's culture or French culture, an apéro is just a good time to, you know, mingle with friends. We drink a glass of wine, we eat a bit of cheese, and yeah, it's just a great time to chat before eating, before lunch. Before dinner. And actually, so normally during Itoday Apéro, I always have my glass of red and bottles of wine because that's kind of the concept. But today is a special day because I'm gonna drink this. Plus, I don't have bottles next to me. And actually, the reason is very simple. My bottles, they are down the cellar. And I'm not allowed to go down the cellar because we got diagnosed COVID positive. So right now I'm the most dangerous person in the room, and we can't go out of our apartment for like 10 days. So yeah, I can't even go to my cellar to get the bottles. But the concept is this. We're gonna send one bottle of wine to our amazing speaker of today, and the second bottle of wine is gonna be sent anywhere in the world for the person who asked the best question, and it's going to be our speaker who will choose who is the lucky person who is going to get the second bottle of wine. So just just wait a little bit because I'm going to have to go out of my quarantine, go to my cellar, get the bottle, and then send them to you. So you might get them in like 3 weeks or 1 month, but it doesn't matter, right? Anyway, so today is a very cool talk because I'm so glad to welcome my good friend Rémi Rivas, who is someone very important for the community. Yeah, you have been here at all the Itoday Apéro, I guess, Rémi.
Oh yeah.
And Rémi Rivas, you're gonna be live from Paris and live from France. And Rémi is really not anyone. Rémi is a designer focusing on business, and we met at the Google conference in Paris, organized by Pauline Thomas at Laptop, and since then we just kept in touch. Actually, I have the feeling I have known Rémi for like decades, but for real, we met in 2019, right? It was really...
Well, we talked a little bit online before, but yeah, it was very funny to see IRL, really for the first time at this conference,
Yeah, exactly. And so actually we met for real in 2019, and it's always great to talk with Rémi. The guy, he's lightning fast in his head, so it's great. He has always a lot of good insights, and he's one of these designers who spend more time in Excel, really thinking about return on investment and results than in Photoshop or Sketch. So yeah, he's clearly a business designer, and he gives some of the best courses on design thinking and the power of design. Rémi, you have been running crazy workshops for like schools like HEC Paris, right?
Yeah, I plead guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Like gathering hundreds of participants, and you are always a source of inspiration. So he's great. He's French, but he does speak English. Please, everyone, I would like a big round of applause for Mr. Rémi Rivas. Woo!
Thank you very much, Steph. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. Well, I'm blessed. Thank you for some so many good words in such a short amount of time. I'm going to try to do my best now. So I hope that you all can hear me well. I prepared a bunch of slides for you, so I'm going to share them with you right now, and then we're going to start. Please do not hesitate to let me know if you have any question at any moment, okay? So I'm just sharing my screen right now, so you should all be able to see it. I hope it's the case. And I also put the chat here in front of you so I can see everybody plus your question. So do not hesitate to ask me your question in the chat, okay?
I can see the screen. It's a little blurry, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, it is? Is it blurry?
Maybe just the first slide.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so. Tell me if it's better now. It should be a video. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm very, very glad to be here. It was an amazing moment in August, and I really hope that you were there. If you were not, please be sure to be there at number 2, because there will be a second one, of course. I'm just harassing them for 1 year. So I hope that we will have a number 2. It was an extraordinary moment, and it's really a pleasure and an honor to be here and to be part of this today and to share with you. So I'm really glad to be here. As Steph told, my name is Rémi Rivas. I'm an innovation designer. My job is mostly to help organizations to design and launch new products, new solutions. So I can work for big organizations or startups to help them to properly understand the needs of the consumers and to just identify which opportunity for the business to create new growth and to launch new services. That's what I do for a living. I can do it for big organization. I can do it for incubator with programs such as the HEC one, and also by organizing workshops such as design sprint, but also other kind of workshop. But I have a little confession to make to you tonight. I was not always a designer because I had a life before, a life I'm not very proud of, because I was an advertising man. So I was a bad guy. Yeah, no, as designer don't like advertising people that much, right? You guys, you know us, right? And so I love design. I got a huge passion for design, but I also do have a lot of love for marketing when it's well done and when it's doing for good reasons. And I really would like to talk to you a little more about these two things and how they join together and what you can do with both of them tonight. That's what I would like to do for you. And I would like to start with a quote, a very famous quote from Peter Drucker, who once wrote, "Because the purpose of business is to create a customer, the business enterprise has 2 and only 2 basic functions, marketing and innovation. Marketing and innovation produce results, all the rest are costs." And that's a very impressive thought when you think about it, like in big organization, only 2 things creating value, innovation and marketing. Okay, so let's focus a little moment on this one. What is innovation? So I ask you the question. Steph told me, let's make it interactive tonight. So if I ask you, what is innovation? What would you say? Okay, answer to me in the chat. If I ask you, how would you define such thing as an innovation? What's make an innovation an innovation?
Mm-hmm. That's a hard one for the first question, you know?
For the first question might be, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to help you a little bit. We're going to first say what an innovation is not. An innovation is not an invention. Because if all invention were innovation, then a wonderful place will not exist. It's a museum of failure in Sweden. And into the museum of failure in Sweden, you see wonderful products from Apple and McDonald's and Amazon and just basically all the big consortium and organization and all this invention, all this brand new product which didn't work. Things to translate your dog speaking. Just hundreds of stuff that you can visit and you can see products which obviously didn't work, okay, for many, many reasons. So unfortunately, and we are designer and we love to invent stuff and to invent new products, but it's not enough to turn it into an innovation. So innovation, I see very interesting stuff in the chat, exploring new horizon, a rupture, development of new methods, absolutely. Innovation, staying creative in an ever-changing environment. Innovation, very basically, is defined as a use of new ideas and methods. So what turns an invention into innovation is when people decide to take it and to use it and to integrate it in their daily life. That's really what makes the biggest difference between everything we should and we would be able to do with inventions and what really, like, we make a habit of it and we turn it into an innovation. So my second question to you is, what turns invention into innovation? If it's all about people taking the invention and deciding to use them into their own lives, what turns inventions? Every new stuff is an invention, but a very few inventions become innovation.
Actually, I know.
Of course you know.
I'm gonna say, because I was here for the rehearsal.
You were here for the rehearsal.
There is an answer.
There is an answer. There is my answer, absolutely. It's not absolute truth, okay? That's just a vision. Yes, that's just a point of view. Okay? Novelty that finds significant adoption. Yeah, it's pretty nice, Richard. It's people. What really turns invention into innovation is people choice, okay? Either people take a new product, a new service, and they like it and they choose to use it, and mostly they choose to spread the word and to talk to other people about them, and then we can hear about it and use it as well and share it as well. Or unfortunately, most of the people, they see what you did and they say, I'm not really interested by that. Okay, I know it exists, but I don't see very well why I would use it. And they forget about it. And it's never changed the world. It never changed the habits. It never changed the game. It's not an innovation because people refused it. People were not numerous enough to take it. For a long time, when you wanted to share new ideas with people, you did things like this. Okay, so basically you just spread big messages on board almost everywhere, and you could interrupt people with radio, with TV, with plenty of stuff. But things have been changing, and these last years, it's especially true for this COVID period. We have been, I would say, more and more from a world at the left of the screen, when if I want you to test my coffee, I need to hire George Clooney, and you see George Clooney and the coffee, and you say, oh my God, that's George Clooney drinking coffee. That definitely must be a wonderful coffee, okay? Mm-hmm. From a world like in the right, okay, where what happens? You are at the dinner table with a good friend, and you say, oh, I didn't show you that. And he takes his phone and he says, oh yeah, with this application, I can do that. It's extraordinary, you know, and then suddenly people are just showing stuff around to each others, and it's like you have your own George Clooney in your living room at your table. This is your friend. This is your friend sharing what he found on the internet with you. That's how most of the people these days, these last decades, have heard about new stuff. If you think about all the new applications, the new services, the new thing you've been using, there's pretty much more probabilities that you heard about them by friends and relatives than because you have seen advertising for them on a big screen somewhere. So in order for an idea to share and for the product to spread, people need to talk. So how can we designers make people talk about what we do? That's a big question. When you want to design a new product, you want, of course, people to use it. You want it to be popular and liked by many people. So you want people to talk, but how can you make people talk? Well, many designers, they have an answer for this. They will say, of course, you do a good product because good products sell themselves. Okay, you just design a good product and then everybody will be speaking about it. Okay. By delivering value in a manner it was never delivered before. Absolutely, absolutely, Sana. That's one part of the answer, but that's not the only one. Because unfortunately, I don't like this thought too much about just good products sales themselves, because I'm accompanying startups and launching business every year, and I see amazing products, and I see amazing idea, and I see amazing solution which don't sell, okay? Because, and it's not me, it's Mike Montero, and I can just welcome you. I just encourage you to see this amazing talk by Mike Montero about 13 ways designers screw up client presentation and how good design doesn't sell itself. But trust Mike and trust me, good design doesn't sell itself. Otherwise, it's just, Steph and I could spend our day just near the telephone and just take, missions one after the other. It's a little bit more complicated. Mm-hmm. There is also a second thing, which is even funnier, which is that what we consider a good product were not good product at the beginning, but we don't remember. Our brain fools us. We use solution for so long that we think that it was always amazing and always wonderful product with tons of features and everything was working so well, okay? And, I like the next slides a lot. I showing to my design students a lot, okay? So I say, absolutely. So meet the GAFA, okay? Amazon, Google, Facebook, Twitter, very first homepage, okay? So at the beginning, Amazon was a place to buy books for cheap price, okay? Not at all AWS. Twitter logo was, what can we say about this logo? I don't know very well, okay? Yeah. And the Facebook was just for students on campus, right? It was not all this developed multi-million user product with a lot of features and a lot of things to bring, a lot of value added. It was rising little beginning products which were on their way to become something big. You wanted to say something, Steph, did you?
No, yeah, I think this slide is so important. Like any course I give about design in Switzerland, I'm showing these kind of slides because, people always want to launch the perfect product. Like they have Facebook in mind. They're like, yeah, I'm going to build Facebook and launch it. Yeah, you know what? It's going to take you 15 years to do it. And it's going to cost you millions or billions. It's always good to see that, to see these MVPs, the first version of the product, because, you have to start somewhere.
Absolutely. And you have start with some people, some specific key people. When you launch, you're not for everybody. Amazon was for book readers. Facebook was for years a tools only used by students on campus. Okay, and it's probably helped them to spread, but that's what we're going to see in a minute. So when you have beginners, okay, small products, MVP, mono features, okay, not amazing, outstanding, superstar design stuff because you don't have the resources to launch something like this, then you need the word to spread. Then you need to let people know what you do. And there, marketing can help you. When good design is not enough, when you are launching a new project, a new product, marketing can help you a lot in order to let people know what you do. Because marketing is about making people talk. Marketing is just, and it's not always advertising the solution. It's just that marketing is just asking yourself your question, how people like this will know about it, how people like this will just use it and see that it's for them and spread the word around them. How can you do that in order for your invention to turn into an innovation? That's where marketing can help you. And this is our tonight on my tweet. On my design help our user to talk more about our products. As a designer, when designing a new solution, when launching a new product, of course, I will put features in order to add value to my user. Of course, I want to change their life. I want to add everything I can, okay? But also a great question is, what can I put into my design? So most people meeting my product will want to spread the word and to let other people know about it. Mm-hmm. That is the key question that I want to speak about tonight with you. Do not hesitate, as Steph said, to turn the camera and of course, just to ask any question you might have in the chat, okay?
I have a first question. Maybe it's going
to
be
part
of your presentation, but what do you think is the impact of money and budget in, product that sell? How important is it?
Actually, that's a very good question. What we used to say, very important. I tend to be very assertive and to speak very loud, but it's only my opinion, okay? It's not a universal, absolute truth about everything. It's just what I think, okay, and what I see. That's all. What I would say when you launch a new product at first, Andrew Shen has a wonderful article on his blog about it. You might be tempted to use a lot of advertising with Facebook ads and Google ads and things like this. And the biggest issue, if you want to make a product which will be used by a lot of people, it's a very non-working strategy, non-efficient one, because the more people will come, the more you will spend in order to make them come. And it can start to cost you a lot. So actually, when you want to launch such thing as a startup, for example, and to raise capital further, what investor will be looking for is your acquisition and retention, but also your viral coefficient, the fact that your product is able to generate demand and to generate new cohort of user on a regular basis. Because if you haven't built your product in such way, you don't want to spend millions into it. You want to spend millions into it and to make it grow when you know that your product is able to bring new customers by itself. It's a very important point to check before to invest too much into a project.
So basically your advice is like, make sure that your product is already good and there is that word of mouth, and then you can invest in marketing.
Make sure that your explanation of the product just turn non-existing people who didn't know you into active customers. Check the retentions to see if on a daily and a regular basis people use you because you satisfy them every time they need you into their life. And be sure that the people who are currently your hardcore super fan user, first users, are also spreading the word and give them means in order to do so. And when it's working, flywheel effect, little by little, then raise money and then make it bigger. Okay, when these three things are very well defined.
Cool.
That will be my answer. If you have questions like Steph, please feel free to ask them on the chat at any moment. So here are 10 things which might help you to design innovation, products, services, which help you to attract new customers. And in order to start with something known, I will start about the network effect, which is a very popular term you may have heard probably around you this last year. Network effect is very simple, and it's at the core of most of the apps and products you've been seeing these last years, which is the more user into them, the better. So it's just product naturally that when you are into it, if you bring all your friends into it, it's better. It's better for you. It's better for them. It's better for everybody. It's also known as the Metcalfe law. And that's funny because we got an example with Google Sheets. How many people use Google Sheet here? Raise your hand, okay? Or just +1 in the chat if you use Google Sheet, okay? So most of the people here use Google Sheet, okay? And we used to have this thing, you know, a long time ago, Excel. You remember Excel? You know, that was that long ago. And of course, Google Sheet is a terrible version of Excel, okay? On feature side, Excel is about to make dozens of times more things than Google Sheets, of course. But when you analyze Google Sheet with this dimension, what you realize it's a degraded but free version of Excel with no setup needed, and all your files are with you all the time, everywhere. But mostly what turns them into a famous product is always up to date, and we can all work together on the same version of the document. So no more enclosed file into mails and who has the last version, and we cannot work all together into it, you know? And you see that just combining the network effect with a degraded version of Excel were sufficient to turn a new product into a serious competitor of Excel, just because the more people are using them, the better it is for everybody about the versioning and the document. And so people will invite you to share document and to work on document. And so more users, so more invitation, more user, and so on and so on.
Well, about this case, to be fair, do you think it's the product itself or it's the power of Google, you know, because they are everywhere basically? So it's
both, absolutely both. And of course, still earning very few money with spreadsheet and not the kind of thing you can launch from a startup side. What I really wanted to show is even when you're Google and you're facing Microsoft, who's not a small player as well, who's got an established product working for more than decades, Excel, you know, like Excel. When I was working for Microsoft long ago, they used to say that Excel is most famous worldwide ERP, you know, like all the business use Excel to do anything, you know. So even on a saturated market with a monopolistic competitor, you can come and you can develop something new because you make it viral by design. You make more people use it, so more people use it.
Actually, I'm sorry, I totally forgot to name drop that you actually used to work for Microsoft.
In another life,
Sorry
long time. Not the most interesting thing here, definitely for you people. No problem. Okay, so next principle. That's for my students and maybe for you. Don't forget to sign. Don't forget the signature. Okay. On that matter, study shows that initial network matters a lot on success. Absolutely, Kevin. Of course. I mean, the easier, especially when it's small number, the less time you need to double your audience. Of course, the further you go, the fastest you go, obviously, especially at first. So signature. When you receive a MailChimp powered newsletter, okay, there is a little badge with MailChimp. And of course, did anybody try to click on this badge once? What happens when you click on the badge at the back of the newsletters? Why is this badge here? Well, because when you click, of course, you will come to the landing page. We say, let's build ideas together. Helping small business is our business. And so all the recipients, all the people who receive your newsletter are potential clients for MailChimp. And every newsletter they send, of course, is an indirect promotional advertising for MailChimp. Obvious stuff. I should not be telling it, but because 50% of the designers I met forget to put signature at the bottom of what they do, I always remember, okay, give me a way to find you. In everything you do, give me a link, give me a way to find you if I want the same thing, okay? Give me a way to go back to the source where it started. Third thing, make people give gifts to people. Most of the time, and I love this story because I can tell the whole world, or I sold my sister to Airbnb because I sold my little sister to Airbnb long ago. It's a sad story. So I was using Airbnb for the very first time. And then after the first the booking I made, Airbnb sent me an email and he said, hey, Rémi, wonderful, welcome on board, etc. Here is 50 euros for the next reservation, but it's not for you. It's for somebody who you love. It's for somebody around you that you would like to give 50 euros on the next reservation for free. And of course, because I'm a lovely big brothers, I call little sister and I say, hey, I just used Airbnb. I got a 50 euros discount. Do you want to use it? And then give it to her, give them a new customers. Okay. And she did the same and the one did the same. Okay. So it's not always about giving back to people. It's also just giving stuff to people that they can give to other people, not for money, just to feel better, just to feel good people. Okay, that's also something you can do. Very convenient way to bring new people with you.
Mm-hmm. Rémi, is it something that can backfire to you? Like, when you sold her to Airbnb, she was happy and she said thank you. But maybe years after, when she gets newsletter or whatever, like, is it something that she might be annoyed about, or?
She might be, and that's why what's interesting is, well, first I asked her before to do it, but furthermore, what was great is just that it was working if and only if she used Airbnb in order to book an apartment, and she would have a 50 euros discount. Okay, otherwise it was impossible for her to get it, and they would not have mail her or let her know anything. Okay, so it's I mean, in this situation, I guess it was absolutely fine.
Cool.
Okay, there is also a very famous example, pretty well known about people, they say, oh my God, in order for people to speak about our product or to share about our product, we're going to give them money, we can give them discounts, we're going to give them just expensive stuff, like discount we just saw. But you can also give them more of the same product and they are very happy. There is one famous case which is being used by Dropbox. Do some remember, is there old people like me who registered in Dropbox like 10 years ago, and you had this, so you created your Dropbox space, and then what you were doing is you shared about Dropbox on Facebook, on Twitter, per mail, you invite people, and you had additional space. So what's great for Dropbox, it costs them absolutely nothing, because most of the people who gained this space, they didn't use it after all. And so Dropbox was just basically giving of the same product to people just because people shared about the existence of the product to other people like them, and it cost them nothing. And it was very convenient for the people. Everybody was happy here, not very costly, but super effective. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind as well. Sometimes we want to give to people too much, just give them of the same product. Then we tried to become a little bit more technical here, which is how you can spread the word without leaving the product. So how can you let people know about a product without leaving it? Here is an example. This is an application I'm using a lot, especially when I go to Paris. It's called City Mapper. I don't know here, some people use City Mapper, if you have heard about it. Mm-hmm. City Mapper is basically an application. You just say, I want to go somewhere. And they can say, oh, you can take this train, you can take this bus, you can take this everything, so they really are connected to all the means of transportation you can use. And so let's say, for example, that I got an appointment, I'm meeting a friend, okay? And I just take the metro and I go to the place I'm going to, okay? And I want to let him know that I will be late. So I can share what I'm doing right now, And so what happens? I'm just sharing my moving. And then City Mapper say, how do you want to share it? So I say by text, for example. Mm-hmm. Then I can just text my friend with a link. Of course, the link will give him a web view of me moving on the map, so he knows where I am. And of course, there is a call to action on the map. And if he clicks on it, he can download the application. Okay, so it's just what's interesting here is it's not my friend who just stop interrupting him or her using the application to talk about something. It's just that you are using the application and you can just share an important piece of information. And when you send the piece of information, of course, it comes enclosed within something and people can know about the application and start to download it and become users and use it as well. Okay. So it's also, Steph.
Yeah, what's actually very interesting, it's really well designed because kind of the wow feature is when you receive that text and you see your friend moving on the map. This is really the wow moment of the whole experience. And
absolutely.
They put the call to action exactly at that place, which is smart. Yeah, well done.
Which is really something we might be thinking a little bit more because, that's what's funny here, where when I show that to designers, they say it's not complicated, and it's not. It's just that when we design it, we tend to forget this little question about how can we just help people to amaze their friends using our product. And there is an example about you, right? Which coming like in a couple of slides.
You're right.
Yep.
Actually, yeah, it makes so much of sense. When you think, there are so many people, they invest crazy money for marketing, they buy some ads or whatever, and they could invest way less just in good design, in thinking about one trick or two, putting the call to action at the right place or putting the right, creating the right experience. This doesn't cost much. Actually.
Absolutely. Just right experience, right reasons for people to want to talk about you. Mm-hmm. Just for which reason will people talk about your product? Give them ways to talk. The people love to share. People love to spread things around. We do it all day with all the people we love. Just give them easy means to do so and do it by design instead of adding them with marketing at the end. We all have these annoying friends, sharing success as well. So people, they run, and when they have runs, they are very proud that they run so much. And of course, they share all the runs they did, and doing so, they let know about the applications they use to make sport, okay? And you gain new followers because you say, he's motivated, he's running that much, I should try as well. And so, of course, you use the same application to do so. It worked as well. It's so efficient that smoke-free, by the way, if you want to quit smoking, the best application ever to do that, of course. Just say, when you come to 150 days, congratulations, you stop smoking, share it with friends. You're proud. Here's a badge. It is a reason to be proud. Share it with other people. It's good for you because it will prevent you from smoking again. And it's good for the application because more people hear about it, more people want to try it. Good for everybody. And also there is an example I love because I discovered it when I was doing some research about this because I'm too old to know that. It's Fortnite. So I don't know if some people here know Fortnite. But what's interesting with them, whoops, maybe I'm going to try to...
It's actually working, the sound. Perfect.
The sound is working? Okay, wonderful. Perfect. So, Fortnite, basic video game when you shoot at people around, But what's interesting is the video here is not edited by Fortnite. The video here is edited by Fortnite players. Because all the game in Fortnite, you have access to the video after, and you can edit them and cut them and making special effects and trailers. Yeah. And doing so, of course, if you earn the victory, if you are the big winner of the last game, you want to make your special edition of your victory and your movie and to spread it with the whole world, show how you run the game. Okay, so. And what was funny, because when I saw that, I say, oh, that's funny because it doesn't exist for B2B things. When I'm using Excel and I just make a wonderful macro or I just find the wonderful features, I cannot make a trailer to let people know how amazing I am and to use the same thing and make some advertising for Excel. And then
I think about what we do, about the workshops, for example, design sprints, and you do the same. I know we try to capture as much as we can, to take photos, videos of the experience, because we know that they reuse them. They create slide decks, they show them at the quarterly meetings or whatever, and that's super important. So yeah, for B2B it works the same.
It works even better because you did it, my friend, because there's an official remote 5-day design sprint. So once you did a wonderful official remote 5 days on Miro, okay, of course, you can share it with all your friends and letting people know what you do so they can copy you and do the same and be as efficient. And also they see that the name of your design studio into it. Okay, so it's good for everyone. Good for the one who did it, good for the one who use it. Okay, so just by design, the Miro wall and opportunity to share workshop templates is a big part of Miro value, and more people will share, the more value it will get.
Thank you for sharing that, Rémi. I'm going to invite you again.
Thank you, man. Citymapper just added a new paying features called Powers that allows you to find routes depending on your personal trip preference. Wow, I didn't know this one. I definitely will have a look, Alexandre. Thank you very much. Also, you can just be recognizable. So that's something I didn't understand when I see it for the first time. If you remember, World Cup, okay, in France here, football is very important. Player putting goals and doing strange and crazy dance. Okay, and I was there. What are these dance moves? And then my cousin, who's like 15 years younger, say, oh, it's Fortnite. And I say, what's Fortnite, And it's just that at Fortnite, at the end, when you win, you can make special dance moves. You can even buy some additional dance moves. And it's so popular that now people are reproducing these moves. So you got very famous football player, when they score, what they do, Fortnite dances. And of course, what's crazy here is just that they are doing it. It's popular, it's pop culture, but it's also millions of free advertising for Fortnite because all the people in front of the TV, they ask to their kids, say, what are they doing? And the kids say, it's Fortnite. Okay. And people are talking about Fortnite because it's recognizable, because it's a very specific way, which is not recognized by the people. Same thing with Lyft. Lyft, when they launch, it's a true story. They say, everybody think we are Uber because it's exactly the same. I push on a button, a car comes. how could they identify our car definitely differently than Uber One? And probably somebody who smoked too much say, let's put a big pink mustache in front of the car, okay? So at the airport, there's only one car with a big pink mustache coming. That's the Lyft car, okay? And now you recognize it and you can go directly. You're not confused anymore, okay? And it works so well that they even made a connected tools with a lightning pink mustache on the dashboard that you see in the night. You know, when you are ordering at night, you see the little pink mustache coming at you, okay? So a very basic principle. By design, you can be recognizable. You can make special moves, like special things people will notice. And so they will know it's you and it's not somebody else. It's working very well. Kevin, I see your comments. Low barrier entry, freemium model, platform agnostic. Yeah, absolutely. It's still talking about the city mapper effect, right?
I think Kevin is talking about something very, very interesting about the freemium. Can we hear you about, you know, the freemium? I know for product creator, it's hard to give the product for free. And would you advise them to do so even if they don't earn money for years? Like, what's your take on that?
Good. That's a crazy. It was about Fortnite, Kevin. Yeah, no, Fortnite is an amazing story because it's just Fortnite is one of the first games where people don't pay for skills or competencies. They pay for features. They pay for skins. They pay for being recognizable, getting special dance move, like being different, which is what teenagers want. Every teenagers want to be different from all the friend teenagers. So wonderful business model here, just by paying to be different. When you launch a product, especially in B2B, I would not recommend to launch product for free, but for a very simple reason, which is most of the time, I'm very fond of the definition of Ashmoria of minimum viable products, which is that MVP got a payment system. If your MVP doesn't have a payment system, it's not an MVP. And of course, launching product for free at first can be very tempting, and it might be a very good strategy. But I will do it only if I verify that there are actually people ready to pay for the advanced version. Because sometimes people say, let's just launch it and let's wait 1 year or two, and then we see if we can sell the upgrade. No. Sell the upgrade, and if you sell the upgrade, then launch the downgraded version in order to gain traction for the upgrade. But test first if you can sell the upgraded version. Otherwise, you can discover after 3 years that, and it happened. It already happened to a company I've been helping for a couple of years. Sometimes your free product is too good, and people don't want to pay for additional features because just the free product is perfectly fine, working perfectly well, and just people are happy with it.
So for you, if you launching a product for free and in exchange you collect emails, for example, it's not enough. You really need to put a paywall to make sure that people who are willing to pay for it.
It all depends. It's always a problem, you know. When I with my good friend Matthias Abramovich, when we teach at HEC about startup, everybody is saying, yeah, but Facebook wasn't profitable at first. And there is always a Facebook. There is always a winner. There is always one, you know, who just, you know, but the biggest issue is when you launch a business, what you should be focusing the most about is traction, is economic traction. Because if you are just counting on raising money to survive, and if you are just thinking about the sales later, this later might never arrive. And the first reason why startups fails most of the time is because there is no market and people are not ready to pay. And that's horrible because that's something which might be avoided and tested way sooner. You know, it's not about the product, it's about the economic traction. Okay. And we always encourage people to test the economic hypothesis at first because that's the most sensitive one. If it's working, then we can develop wonderful product.
Cool.
Okay. Then, well, this I will just make it move away. Yeah, okay. No, this, I really want to talk with you about this because this these people are designers, they made enormous difference. Some people remember this maybe. Freddie High Five. You know, that they redesigned MailChimp, but this is the only thing they kept, the High Five, because the High Five is what made MailChimp so popular. At first, you know, when you were sending these emails and Freddie was high-fiving you, you know, just to say you're a boss, you just sent a marketing campaign. Well, it was just basically a newsletter editor, nothing crazy, nothing so different from all the other one, but the tonality, the design was different. By the way, there is a secret game in MailChimp, and it's called Fast Five. You can activate it with secret keywords. I can give it. And then after you have to high five people to gain score and things like this. So they even made a game hidden into the product itself because the high five is so popular into the design of the game.
That's cool.
Another example I love also, which make people think because it's not usual, is a dinosaur. So, you're on Google and you want to go on a site and of course it's not working, but then this little dinosaur, if you start to put a space keyboard, you can start to play with it and turn it into a little video game waiting for your internet connection to come back, And what's funny is just so unexpected that people, they talk about it. This dinosaur had been very viral when people started to understand that it was a game, And so to help people patienting until the connection was back. And it was so popular that Google had, people asked Google to make it available even when the network is working.
Yeah.
So they did it. In Chrome, you can launch the video game without cutting the internet connection because it made it so popular, okay? So it's nothing about functional feasibility. Of course, Chrome is a good navigator. Of course, it's fast. Of course, there's plenty of features, but that's not what people spend the most time talking about. Mm-hmm. People talk about what's unexpected, what's surprising, what's, what they didn't wait. And this is what I wish I would have designed because that's so intelligent. Okay, so Steph, let's make a little thought experience. You're into Virgin Atlantic's first class, okay? You're having a wonderful meal, you're well rested and seated, okay? And there is these two little wonderful things, to put salt and pepper into it, to put it on your meal, And they are very well designed and features are little lovely red plane. It's called Orville and Wilbur, like the two brothers who invented the plane.
The Wright brothers. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And of course, like every passenger on this plane, you're going to say yourself the same thing. You're going to say, it's so small, I can pinch them and put that in my back pocket and nobody will notice. And that will be a good souvenir for home,
And I'm going to brag.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you take it, you just put them on the table. But one day there's no more salt into it. You use all the salt. So you need to put salt back into it, right? Mm-hmm. So you take it, you put it on the back, and then you read, pinch on Virgin Atlantic. And they say, they knew I was going to steal it. They designed it for me to steal it, my God. And of course you laugh out loud and you tell the story because now it's an even better story to tell and to spread to people, right? Because it's a joke. It's a joke between the product and you see.
That's cool.
And that's really the kind of state of mind I want a designer to get. It's not enough to make beautiful product. It's wonderful. It's not enough to make good features and to make something working, but also what can make people talk about what we do? Why would they talk and what would they spread the word and share it? Mm-hmm. And that's just what I wanted to share with you tonight. I got a couple of additional examples, but it's already 6:45, and I promise you that I will take half an hour max. So let's make it the most interactive and let's ask any question you might have.
First of all, thank you so much, Rémi. It was such a great talk with a lot of concrete examples and
thank you, my friend.
Create great experiences, make people happy about your product. This is so great. This is such a great takeaway. Who has a question for Rémi?
Please feel free. Is somebody wanted to make a product viral tonight? Is there somebody who wants to turn an invention into an innovation?
So about that, I have, if you don't mind, I'm going to stop your screen share so I can use
please do. Absolutely.
Amazing. So the question I have is about the role of influencers. Like these people who are on Instagram now, they are being paid to, kind of talk about the product. How good do you think this is for modern marketing? For, also like when you design a product, how much should we use these Instagrammers?
Good. That's a very good question, actually. Well, I'm not, how to say that? I'm not a big fan of influencers. That's not the marketing channel I'm using the most. But there is a story I like to tell. It's about a company who launched last year. It's called Papa Outan. They want to make a product for breakfast which doesn't kill nature and monkeys. And what's funny, it's they had some influencers, and the influencers definitely helped them to spread the words, when they launched the product. But there was something even more funny, even more unexpected when they launched. is all the hardcore fan, all the people who are big fans of products, they all put them into a WhatsApp group. So you say, okay, just a WhatsApp group. And what happens is, and it wasn't intentional. That's something I observed. I was in the WhatsApp group as well, and I was observing it. And just people started to say things like, oh, my cousin is working at this TV station, I will let him know about it. Okay. Oh, my friend, she's an influencer, sports about it. She will spread the word, And what was crazy is just that we quantified it together after, and we just realized that all these hardcore fans, all these first circle of lovers of products, they just brought so much visibility and so much people to spread the word and to talk about the product for free, just because they wanted to be part of it and because they thought it was important to do it. And so, most of the time, entrepreneurs, they ask me, how can I make myself visible? And I just say, ask your customers, phone to your clients, ask them if they know somebody, and most of the people, when they like your products, they are really happy to help. And that's, we always avoid to do it. That's very funny. We all spend our times doing tons of millions things, but just as simple as involve your clients. Your clients want to be part of your success. They want to share the world. They want to help you, help them to help you. That would be my word here.
Yeah, this is so important. Like we see over and over, like at the end of the design sprints, for example, we have this testing day. So we just test what we have been designing during the whole week. And all our clients, they assume like, oh, it's going to be horrible to find testers. No one wants to come and to share what they, like no one wants to share how they feel about the product. And it turns out that they love it. People love to come, they love to share, and they are always super supportive, and they share about the test sometimes, or they come back days after, oh, I have that idea, maybe you should do that. And it's really about involving people, creating the community. I think it's what Kevin, you said too. Maybe Kevin, you want to talk about the power of communities? It's interactive. We are live.
Yeah, thank you, Steph.
You're welcome.
Well, I don't know if I have something to say that is really, original or different from what Rémi already said. Is maybe Rémi, you worked on creating communities for startup, because I found really interesting the idea concept to create an ecosystem around your company. And when I said networks and ecosystem, I don't mean necessarily just the customer, but also your partners or people around the company that are helping you to do what you want to do.
True.
And the communities, we tend to see it as just people who buy the product, but it's more larger than larger than that.
It is absolutely. That's very important what you say. Most of the people, they tend to confuse between audience and community. Audience are people listening to you, but community are people who know that each other exists, and they are talking not only with you but also with all of themselves. And that's what makes them so powerful, because then you can have a crowd effect, then you can have people leading each other, you can have motivation spreading, and sometimes they create things which are bigger than yourself. Think about something like Wikipedia. Think about things where just unorganized people working together and contributing. So absolutely, brands have a lot to learn about that. And also, they have to admit that it works only if you are transparent, and only if you are requiring advices and interacting with people and letting them taking real part of the business by themselves. And what I see around is just more and more brands which are flourishing because they keep this state of mind, And that's really...
Yeah, in another context, we should say that this kind of thing is, a bias from selection, because you have people in the group that are already motivated to share about whatever you present, because they are here on purpose. So it is a selection bias, but you benefit from it, in fact, to sell and to make people come to your solution.
And that's where design is so powerful as well, because just design is about answering to this question: what do people want to become? What do people want to do already? And then we help them to do it. But we don't say to them, you should do that. It's about, we understand you. And that's why design is so powerful for innovation, because it's not about just, I thought about something, let me explain to you until you want to do it as well. I observed you, I understood you, I really know what resonates with you, I understand where you want to go and why you're stuck. Let me design something to help you. Let me give you means to do what you are already deciding to do. And that's where it's so powerful and people feel understood and people are happy to share and spread, because that was important for them at the beginning. To find the right people and unite them, lead them, and create something together. Yeah, that's definitely just very interesting to do these days.
Great, Rémi. We have an interesting question from Ananya. Do you want to ask, Ananya?
Hi. I just wanted to know, in your experience, how has the way you teach design thinking changed over the past few years, let's say 5 years or 10 years?
Thank you for this question. Well, there has been a lot of changes. From 5 years ago, it was very theoretical yet. People were not that used about this user-centered design mindset. It was like, it was pretty much a revolution when you were talking about it, And more and more, what I tend to do now is to turn it into a much more practical exercises. Like, I really want to make it the most accessible possible. That's the first thing. Because people, most of the time, we want to show them too much complex things, such as, for example, if you want to design good personas, when you think about it, non-designer working into big organization, big corporation, is very hard for them to design relevant personas. Okay, so it's about hacking. There is a wonderful conference, unfortunately, it's in French, from Karine Lallemand. I will share the link with you with a great pleasure, but we will need to translate it first, about how you can hack, how you can make people do it even with few resources and few time, which is really key into big organization. And as well, and that's something else, but the no-code. The no-code tools, I was discovering no-code tools last year, and I'm pretty amazed with what you can do. It's not about prototyping anymore. Really, it's about drag and drop and just making working efficient interfaces with working an operational version of product. And it's pretty great. It's like, it's not skipping prototyping, but it's really like turning sketches and just abstract ideas into efficient version, of stuff working very fast. So that's pretty insightful as well. I would say that the two big things we changed the last years about how I teach design thinking.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I think that's it. Rémi, thank you so much. I would like everyone, please give a big round of applause for Mr. Rémi Rivas, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And Sana, it's Mike Montero. I write it down in the chat for you. Thank you very much for the invitation, Steph. It was a pleasure to be here. I can't wait to see what you will do for the next version of Itoday. And just, it's a wonderful community. Just take good care of you. And I stay for the apéro, okay? So let's see each other in a minute.
Exactly. So we're going to stop the broadcast now. Egle is putting a link in the chat. You can join us for the apéro, for the actual apéro. So you can meet everyone. You can have a glass of wine or whatever you drink and chat. See you very soon. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Thank you, Rémi.
Thank you very much, guys. It was amazing. See you very soon. Take good care.